Hi and welcome to another session of programming in Scratch. Today we're going to actually have a go at programming a game called Viking Jump, and the first thing we're going to need to do is open up Scratch. So I type in SCRATCH, I find Scratch. Don't forget, if I'm going too fast you can always pause the video, and in the Scratch search engine I'm going to type in Viking Jump project. When I do that, I'll get this piece of programming here, and it's by Pine Martin. That's me. Okay, click on that. And the instructions say you need to add the code from the PDF sheet, that should be on the website, and this video, to make the Viking jump over the black objects that are coming towards him. There's no program at the moment, so I'm going to go straight into See Inside. I've got two sprites. I've got the Viking and I've got black objects which are going to come from the right hand side of the screen and go to the left hand side. If you look at the costumes, there's only one Viking. However, if you look at the sprites here, there's going to be 5 different objects which will come towards the Viking. Okay, let's program the Viking first. So I click on the code. I've got 2 pieces of code for the Viking. They're both going to require a green flag clicked. The first thing which I'm going to do is deal with these variables at the top. When I start off, I want the score at 0 and I want to have 3 lives. So I'm going to actually go to the variables down here, and they're already programmed for you. So I'm going to actually set the score to 0, and I'm going to set the lives to 3. You can actually vary that, so if you want to have more lives, that's okay. I could even put them 4. Right. Next, I'm going to have a piece of code which is true forever. Okay. And I'm going to say if the Viking is touching the colour black, because that's the colour of the obstacles, then they're going to actually lose a point. Okay, so if is touching, so I've got an if. He's touching is sensing. Now, I can drop that in there, but I said colour black, so you're going to need to actually click on that colour there, and if you choose the selection tool and hold it over the colour black on the screen there, it will change colour here. Okay, and I'm going to say if he's touching that, I'm going to change the lives by -1. So that's the variable again. I'm going to change lives by, at the minute it says 1. I want -1, so I'm going to actually type in -1 in the box there, and I'm going to wait a second. It's important to wait, because if it's in contact with the obstacle, all that time it's in contact with it, he will actually run down the lives. Okay, so if the lives do get to be less than 1, 0, then I want the program to stop. So if the lives are less than 0, now that's going to be an operator. Now if the lives are less than 1, so that's 0, now that lives will drop into there, and then you can move the whole thing into that gap there. So if the lives are less than 1, then stop all. And that's the bottom there. All his coding is on the sheet. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to actually start him off in his start position, and I want him to jump when I actually ask him to. So I'm going to say go to, and on the sheet I've got it set for -79, -93, which is where is that currently, and I'm going to actually have a rule which is forever. And I'm going to say if the space key is pressed, then I'm going to do something. So if the space key is pressed, so sensing, if the space key is pressed, then I'm going to get him to actually change his Y position. That's motion. Change Y. Now at the minute it says 10, but I want to, because 10 is only a small number of pixels, I want 110 pixels. I'm going to get him to wait a second in the air. And then I'm going to get him to change his Y position by minus 110. So he's going to go up in the air, wait a second, then come down the same number of pixels. Okay, so that's the Viking programmed. Now I'm going to actually program the hazards. Now these are going to start off at a certain position and go across the screen, so I'm going to need to actually tell them where to go. Go to, now I'm going to check on my sheet, it says go to 201, so I need to modify that, 201, and it's going to go to Y position of minus 120. I was already on 120. Okay, this is going to be forever. I'm going to change its X position, so it's where is it is going left and right. So I'm going to change its X position. So go to change X by, and I'm going to say that's going to be changing by minus 10. So minus 10 means it's going to go to the left. And it's going to follow that rule all the time. If it gets to a certain position, I want it to actually look as though it disappears. Okay, so if it's X position, now that's an operator. That's going to go in there is less than, it says minus 200. Minus 200. So its X position is a position, so that's motion. Now, X position's there, that will fit into that bubble there. So if its X position, so its position on left and right, is less than minus 200, so it's on the left hand side of the screen, I want this to actually hide. And hide is in the looks, it's down there. I know I then want it to show afterwards, and then I know I'm going to need an X costume because I can see it on the sheet. So I'm going to actually ask it to go to, after it's hidden, it's going to go back to the start, and which is 201 minus 20. Then I'm going to choose its next costume, and then it's going to show. Okay, so I'm just checking the programming. I always go down from the top. I'm going to check line by line, checking to see that I've got the code in the right order, and I'm checking to see just if there's any bugs in there. Okay, I'm happy with the code there. I do the same to this piece of code. I check that I've got the right negative numbers in there. I'm checking the right keys being pressed. Change Y by 110, and then I've got minus 110 here. Okay, let's see if that runs. So I'm going to actually maximize that screen. I press the green flag. I'm getting ready to press the space bar. And the costumes are changing. Okay. The score's not going up. So I need to actually just check why the score's not going up. The lives are going down, and it does stop when the lives are less than 1. So I just need to actually see why the score's not going up. Okay, so I think logically about when I actually have the score. Right, the score happens when I actually press the space bar. So when the spacebar is pressed, now I've missed out a piece there saying change score by. So that's a variable, and I'm going to change score by. So when the space key is pressed, I'm going to change the score by 1. Now that matches my programming. So if I'd run this time, I should see the score increasing. Score starts off at 0, the lines will start off at 3 or 4, and let's have a look. Okay, that's better. I'm happy that that's working. There's a good opportunity to show you how to actually debug. Okay, enjoy.